too long, I would say, since I have no clue how to set up all of this technology still.
Yes, I know. It's kind of, life gets in the way, and when you don't do these things regularly, you start to forget how you did them in the first place.
It is. I even came out early, set up everything, thought I'll get ahead of time, and then the final step of connecting things was a disaster. But here we are. We're almost on time, like 7:32.
Yeah, not bad. I think we would have been on time, except we just lost track of time.
Yeah, once we had it rolling, we're happy to sit here and put up stupid signs in front of each other on the screen and do stupid things for a minute.
Yeah. Hey, Monica Ashley, hi. Phil, how you going, mate? Sorry I couldn't make it tonight, buddy. Would have been good, but, just a bit far and too much other shit to do at the moment, trying to catch up on top of everything else.
I guarantee if you showed up, we wouldn't be here doing this show right now. I know that.
Yeah. And, yes, it'd probably be a taxi home, and then I'd have to find an excuse for the boss tomorrow.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Mondays are hard. Just
Yeah.
come.
Yeah, sorry. Can you hear the cough?
It's always lurking.
Yeah, that's it. Elizabeth, Tommy Guard, how you going? Andrew, Brett, Jason, hey guys. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks for coming along and listening to us dribble. And Glenn Thomas, Mr. Muzz Williams. It's good to see all the familiar faces coming back. Yeah.
It's been a while, mate. I think it's been 5 or 6 months since we had anything cut. We unleashed, or I did, unleashed a rather large season accidentally. when all the planets aligned perfectly and the gods choose so.
Yeah.
Had a few too many, and it's been a very hectic time, but you've been enjoying a little bit of a quieter season.
Yeah, I mean, like it's kind of perspective, isn't it, really? Because you say quieter, but my quieter season was still around 20 clutches, which was probably still a lot compared to most, but certainly nothing compared to the season before. And certainly not close to what you did this season. So I can sympathise with you for what you're going through.
I'll avoid it at all costs in the future. Let's just say that. So
yeah. But it's always the way, when you pair things up, you kind of always expect for things go wrong. Not every female goes, or they lay some slugs, or eggs go off, whatever the case may be. Is we've seen right through egg cutting shows.
Yep.
So you always plan.
It just doesn't happen sometimes.
Yeah, true. But you kind of make all these plans and think, just do that extra 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever pairings.
Yep.
To kind of make up for what you're not going to get. But like you said, when all the stars align,
yes,
and everything goes, it's
you pair 39 and get 38 clutches, and then they all lay huge clutches instead of 20. Where let's roll out 32. It's just one of those years.
Well,
very painful.
That's it. That's another side of it too, isn't it? Clutch size.
Yeah.
Extra 3 or 4 per clutch when you got that many clutches. That's a lot of babies.
It is. It's lesson learned. Anyway, we won't make that same mistake again. I'll certainly cut back. A lot of people saying they're pairing already, and have you started? I'm like, I am so just getting past the last lot. I'm not even thought about pairing anything this year.
Yeah, I know.
Still very early.
Yeah, it is. I don't know about yourself, but I haven't paired a thing yet. I've been flat out trying to catch up on cleaning with all the RL stuff that's been going on here for me for the last 6 to 12 months. It's been a bit of a struggle, but today it was like, I've got to get some stuff done. Like, it's just, I think I fed, it was about 280 or 290 young stuff on Friday night. I fed over the last 2 days, I think I fed about another 140 adults or something, or like extra large rats sort of thing. So, and I still haven't finished all the stuff up. Didn't even get to see a rat today. So it's like...
so the joys of it, mate. I went to the pub and had 2 drinks today. It's the first time I've been in public for 5.5 months. It's great.
You big socialite, you.
Even that was a rush job. It was like, all right, gotta go. Let's run.
Yeah, it would have been good to come out as well, but just
Yep.
just
You
the
got to
time
get stuff
factor.
done, mate. That's the problem. It's the life of us stupid reptile breeders. You're chained to something you can't escape. It's our choice, like we whinge about it, but we choose to do it and we keep doing it every year. So you just got to do what you can when you can. And there's times of the year that it's not very nice. And there's times of the year it's a little bit easier, which are coming ahead where all the adults don't poo because they don't eat. So you get a little bit less cleaning time, less feeding time, and a little bit of relax.
A little bit of approval. Colin Ray, how you going? Ryan Mills, Monique Ashley said her and a partner love meeting you at the Illawarra Expo, Brent.
Nice stuff, hey,
yeah. So as soon as we've got a mention of the shows there, may as well have a bit of a quick squeeze at those. So the first one we went to was Adrian Hemmons there at Stanhope Gardens. That was the first show of the year. How did you find it, Brent? I kind of think it's definitely been quieter than what the shows as a whole have been in the years past.
Yep. Sydney, the first one, like sales-wise, was very good. It's been the best one of the year so far.
Yep.
But you get that on the first show. It's everyone tends to rush in early. They had some issues on the day. They had issues with staffing. They had issues getting people in. I don't think people understand what's involved in putting on one of these expos. It's a massive job, and without the people that do it and without the million volunteers and paid people and efforts of people, these things just wouldn't happen. It's a huge operation. So I know Adrian had a couple of people, off and had problems getting FPOS going through the door and had some issues. So people were a bit upset with the line, but you live and learn, like us. Adrian's done this before. It's not his first time, but he'll learn from it. He'll make changes, make more entries, make pre-ticket sales, whatever. They'll change things to make it better, but the expo overall, I thought it was a good show. There was a lot of people in there all day long. It was pretty full. So
it was probably almost a bit of a godsend having that issue there because it kind of stemmed the flow. But for us, that's probably a good thing. But I can imagine someone stood in a queue outside, regardless of who the organizer of the show is. No one wants to be standing in a queue for an hour and a half, particularly if you're keen to go in there and look for something in particular. You want to buy something or
don't want to miss out,
whatever, and you can't get in there for a good couple of hours. I mean, having
I felt for the people with kids, kids and prams and little kids don't queue up well. So for a few parents there, it would have been a nightmare.
From memory, that was a pretty hot day too. From memory,
yeah. Can't remember. It wasn't a killer, but we've had worse days for expos, those early ones. But not a bad day. But thank you, Adrian and his team. Good day out.
I mean, I guess for all those that want to whinge, go volunteer at one of these shows. And see the time and effort and the hours these guys put in. There's a lot of work that goes into the organisation, and not just on the day before that. With all the paperwork and the people that are selling there and getting all that sorted and the table layouts and all that sort of stuff and running power. There's quite a bit of work. So, good on them.
Easy to say they need more people, but people cost money. If you've got to pay people, these things don't, they're not a gold mine. I'm sure these things aren't, making millions of dollars. So, easy to say have 20 more people there and a smoother day. But if you don't have 15 more volunteers and 5 more paid people, you don't have a show,
Yeah, that's right.
It's not simple.
Katie Gordon. Hey, Katie. So that was that one. Then we had the Hawkesbury one out of Penrith, your hometown. So first mine, then yours.
I love the Penrith show. That it's a 4.5 minute drive to the expo for me. It's
not the 40 odd minute drive for me that it is.
No.
It's like a location reversal for us. The other one's about 10 minutes from my place, if that. Yeah.
Yep. I love it. And I'm even lazy at Penrith. I go down on a Saturday night and, cruise down and set up the stands and, how's it going, boys? See ya. Get back home in 5 minutes. See you in the morning at, 8 o'clock.
Rocking half an hour before the doors open.
Yeah. It's good.
That was a quiet day for me, or a quieter day for me. How did you go on the day?
Definitely quieter, slower sales-wise. I think there was a fair few people there, but it felt like it was a good show. It was very well organised, very well. They put on a very good event.
It's always good there.
They do a great job. the backgrounds, the dividers between all the sellers. Like it's a
tablecloth on all the tables, power at every table. Like it's just
super well organized.
It's not much, but you know what? It's just that one little extra detail that Hawkesbury go to that the others don't, which each their own. Like I'm not going to criticize the other ones, but it's nice when you go and you actually feel like, you know, you're divided, separated. You don't have, and you don't have randoms, you know, from someone next door that goes, "Oh, just come in here, mate, and have a chat for a while." You don't have all these people coming around your stuff, you know, obviously for hygiene and quarantine and stuff like that. You don't want everybody in behind. So, you know,
and I get stuck beside this dickhead Darren Whittaker sometimes, and I don't want him just wandering into my bloody display all the time, you know. So
he brings his obesity with him.
Brings everything with him. I have to spray him for mites before he enters. It's painful.
Yeah, I've still got the virus to spread around. Apparently, that's the one in the
good show.
Cough.
Bloody good show for Penrith, though. I've got to say, like if you're a new person coming into the hobby and you went to that show, there's a lot of interaction. There's a lot of displays. You know, there's a lot of entertainment. There's stuff that the kids can, you know, be taken away from and enjoy. You know, I think there was a lot to see and do there. So it was a good, although a slower sales day for a lot of sellers I spoke to. Some guys did well, but overall, I think most people said it was definitely slower than the first show and slower than previous years. But you know, we're coming out of the perfect COVID storm previously, so too much money around and everyone needed special gifts, whereas things have changed a little bit now. Yeah,
that's right. You know, but that's probably, you know, obviously with interest rates going on with rising with the increased costs of living and all that sort of stuff, it's understandable, you know, like buying a pet, you know, isn't a priority really. So
or buying 10 more pets, which is normally the case.
He completed them out. Who else we got? Dennis Boggy, Dennis, Chris Fletcher, Chapman's, Kim Gary, guys, Garth. I assume that's Faye.
Garth, sorry. Oh, yeah, I was next to her too. Sorry, it was probably Faye that was taking up all my space.
Yeah, I cop Faye at Illawarra and Garth there, taking up all the room as always, hiding in there.
Faye's pretty easy because she walks under the table. She doesn't even have to walk around them, you know.
Sometimes you don't even see. You look around for her and she's right in front of you. So where's that coming from? Oh, there she is.
You're a dead man.
He's going to kill me. Scotty Rito, Scotty, Red Rock Bearded Dragons, mate. Chris, he's too. Adam Sadie, mate. Yes, Adam's saying he misses the live shows. Yes, I know. We've been saying. I've just had a lot of personal stuff going on. Obviously, my mum passing away at Easter and Dad diagnosed with terminal cancer. It's been a little bit hard. So we have planned on multiple times to try to get shows, but with everything going on with family, you know, you got to put that first. So we managed to squeeze a show in tonight and get ready for the upcoming season. So we'll get there.
We'll try and get a bit more going.
Get a little bit more regular. Yep. It's good to be regular.
Stop at 7:30 time slot.
Yep. So before I say hello to this next bloke, Illawarra, that was a good weekend, and we had a foreigner. He came up and pinched a position in the show. Infiltrator. He did. Mr. Buhaja. Marty, how you going, mate? Himself. It was good to actually say hello to Marty and have a chat, you know, like we spoke many times on the phone and Facebook and Messenger and stuff. It's good to meet the guy. Lovely bloke. So
absolutely. It was weird. It's the first time I've actually met him in person. Yet I feel like you've known someone for 10 years. You know, like
definitely.
But I took full advantage of hugging and kissing him all day. He's a beautiful man, Marty. So
it
was a good day out.
I tried to get past you to get to him, but you were just too much of a roadblock for me.
Some sort of blocking going on there.
The tables were just a little bit too close to the wall. You needed an extra little bit of distance for us big fellas. So
notes for the organisers: more space for us behind.
Yeah. Mr. Boswell, hey Daz. Daz didn't come up this year. Daz has popped up in the past to come up to shows and have a look. So, you know, hopefully maybe next time, Darren.
It's great to see people come from interstate too. It's a massive trip. Definitely. I know Marty, what he told me time-wise he had to do. The things of, you know, home at 3 a.m. and unpacking snacks and stuff. Like it's it's a massive effort for those people that get to see some of Marty's stuff. It's good to see people making the effort, and hopefully, I mean, Darren and I have talked about it. We want to do Victoria, we want to do Queensland shows, next year. It's been like a bit of tough time this year, but we're going to try and plan it a fair bit more ahead of time. So it'd be nice to get out and see and meet people. Like I said, seeing Marty, actually meeting him in person, and there's a lot of other people that you'd like to catch up with over time.
Yeah, definitely. Marty, Darren Bryan with chocolate, and that's caramello chocolate. It's actually real chocolate he's talking about. Yeah. It was actually my daughter's birthday chocolate because it was the kids' birthdays on the weekend.
Yeah,
but Darren Boswell couldn't get there this year. That's right, mate. There's always another year. Ryan Mills, do you guys keep venomous snakes as well? I don't anymore. I used to a long time ago when I used to do venomous rescues with Wise and Sydney Wildlife and stuff. So I used to do a bit of rehabilitation with that sort of stuff. But I actually stopped that when I had kids. Well, just after I had kids. So not anymore. What about you, Brent?
Never have, probably never will. I only had that talk to Phil tonight that I'm too careless with snake handling and care, of cleaning and opening and doing things with tubs. So, no, not for me. Certainly, there's species I'd love to keep for sure, but it's probably something I'll never launch into, I don't think.
Yeah. I think, like, for me, it was an interest and a fascination, obviously, just loving reptiles across the board. And it was nice to be able to, have that time and play with them for probably, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 years or something around there over the time I was doing rescues or rehabilitating browns and red bellies and adult ace monitors and all sorts of stuff, back when. But, after kids and, when you come in and, you've got a couple of brown snakes and you forget to put one away properly, it's not a good thing.
Yep.
So, change some strategies, all part of the learning curve when you first start doing it. So, change. But, just stick with pythons now. So, no more of that stuff. Marty Badger, it was great to meet you boys. I'll try to be more organised also and do more shows. Yeah, that'd be great, mate.
You just evolve, mate. It's like first expo, we all started one somewhere, and you just add more stuff, get more bits, get more stuff. It's just it's just over time. Before
long, you'll have yourself a reptile show kit where a couple of tubs with everything you've kind of needed, tape, scissors, and all sorts of bits and pieces, few extension leads and power packs, and it's going to grow once you kind of get there. It's kind of easy, I guess.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Joshua McNamara, please come to Victoria. That's the plan, mate. Hopefully,
for sure.
Yeah, Brett Moy said, Mr. Boswell made Brisbane Expo. It's a good catch up. Yeah, this is a top bloke. So you, Brett, you're both good blokes. So, yes, Darren, this is on YouTube as well. So it streams to Facebook and YouTube for both of us.
Yep.
So, going back to Illawarra there for a bit. How did you find the show, Brett, down there at Illawarra?
Yeah, good show. They got the crowd in quickly. It was a good plan. I don't, like we talked about, they don't have them queued up forever. There was a big queue outside. I didn't see it, but people said it was very lengthy queue, and they did a great job of getting everyone in quick, so it filled up very fast.
Yeah.
Good expo, like huge turnout. It was 28, I think, breeder stands plus all the the vendors and product displays. So. Live shows on the day, very, very well organised, very well run. I've got to say that the team there did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
It just ran smoothly. There was not that there's ever too much of a hiccup at an expo, but the day just ran through without you never heard anyone whinging. It was a simple day, but
no,
the crowds.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to us being set up for shows once you've done a few, and Joe Payne certainly got some experience under a belt. She's done quite a few shows now, certainly knows what's going on, and a great team behind her as well. Like all the other people that are involved that, don't always get a mention. She can't do it without those as well. All those guys, from the ones that pack up the tables and pass out the chairs and get electrical cords down for people and all that sort of stuff. It's a big team effort.
It all matters.
Every little job. Makes a difference and makes it easier for someone else. And without them, we wouldn't have these shows. And, they're definitely something, you don't want to lose once you've got them, these
keep it
people,
rolling.
You need to keep this sort of going on. It's fantastic. It's great publicity and great promotion for the hobby.
Yeah. Yeah, and certainly, I think the crowds were less than what they have been previously on all the expos, not just Illawarra. But it's still nice to see people strolling through going, first time snake buyer, never been to expos, just got my license, got a set up and want to come to the right place to buy a snake, like that's really what expos are all about. It's bringing more people to the hobby and growing the hobby. So
yeah, and you've probably had it as well, Brent, like the amount of people that come up that have, and I imagine most of the other breeders that go as well. Some lady brings their daughter or a man with their kid and goes, "Oh, I don't like snakes, but my daughter loves them, and she's thinking about getting one. And what would you recommend?" And all this sort of stuff, And it's good to see that there's people coming in there. And I know what it was like when I was growing up. My dad and mum were always, "Oh, the best snakes are, good snakes, dead snakes," sort of thing. It's good to see that there are parents taking their kids because that's their kids' passion or that they want to learn. Yeah. So and I always tell the parents, good on you. Like it's not your thing. You're stepping out of your comfort zone, but it's good for the kid because one day when we're old and we're walking with our push walkers around the hallway, it'll be those kids that are there. Yep. Doing the shows.
Definitely.
So, but
there's Joe Payne herself, the Expo Queen. Hello, Joe.
Yep. Hey, Joe. Yep. Can't thank the team enough. Absolutely.
Yep. They did a great job.
So same with I heard one up in Queensland was quite good as well. The shop there. I mean, obviously Elizabeth or Shakito, she's got a few bugs to iron out first time, so it's always going to be difficult the first one.
Yes, the first would be a nightmare, I imagine. You learn very quickly.
Yep, and for anybody that has a gripe, I suppose, let's just say that or unhappy about something, give them a chance. These shows are a lot of effort, a lot of time. When you consider back when Troy Kuligowski and that were doing shows, they couldn't even sell animals there. You have them on display. You couldn't even put a business card on the table. You couldn't wear a shirt. Like, Joe Paul couldn't wear a blue tongue lizard shirt, like all this sort of stuff. So, to go from there to come to now where they actually could sell reptiles on the day, it's a big thing. And okay, if you've got an issue, take it up with Elizabeth. Say, hey, look, maybe you could do this better or whatever. But don't stop supporting the show, because if you lose that, it could be quite difficult to get it back again. So, supporting these things is good for the hobby as a whole.
And Queensland's badly needed a show for a long time. I can't believe it's taken this long to get something going. And I guess South Australia will be the next one. And we need to get off the ground,
Yeah, well, they had a couple. Steve down there did a couple early on, but they kind of changed direction and focus, I think, a little bit. And I'm not sure if they actually do anymore. But you look at the VHS, the VHS has been running their shows for quite a few years now, for quite a long time. And every time you see photos, regardless of the time of day, that show always seems to be busy. And I've had the pleasure of going down there a few times. I mean, I think the first time was when, what's his name? The guy that did the complete Chondro book came out, Max, what was it? Greg Maxwell. It's close enough. It came out. So I think I was down there for that conference and get book signed and all that sort of thing. And that would have been probably mid-2000s, somewhere or other, I think.
Yep.
But so they've been going a long time, and it's great to see. Keep the shows going and keep turning up to them.
Obviously, VHS huge, well organised by the look of it from here, but they seem to have the crowds going all day. As a very well supported expo for the one they get. It'd be nice to see them get a few more. So we're very privileged in Sydney that at one stage we had 4 going with the North Coast going as well. Central Coast disappeared at the moment. I'd love to see them get back on board too, but it'd be nice, if Queensland had 2 or 3 and Melbourne had 2 or 3, it'd be fantastic for the hobby.
Yeah, well, we had a few. We used to have one at Newcastle, then we had one at Gosford. We also used to have Mackherps back in, going back a while now. It was another show, so we've had a few, but we're still at the main 3, I guess. But certainly one up the Central Coast would be great to get another shot there again.
Yeah, yep.
Kane Fuchs, hey mate, Garth. Hope someone has a spring show. Yeah, a spring show. I believe.
There's rumours.
There's rumours.
There's rumours that maybe. I thought Joe, being the Expo Queen, would do it, and I tip my hat to Joe. Darren and I have often whinged just because we're a pair of old bitches sometimes that the expos are too early. Like we cry as breeders that they're on in February. You don't have enough time to get hatchies ready. So it's always been a struggle for us to have animals on display that are well established and, you know, a good variety when it's so early in the year. So March Expo is not so bad. April, you know, you're pretty much on it. And Joe runs into May, you know, which is fantastic. It's when you look around the room, you see a huge variety of animals because it's just that time of year that everything's ready, you know. So
yeah,
the later in the year one has done before. Wollongong's done it, you know, a couple of times, been great. Obviously, there's less breeders because some people have sold out by then, but there's still a lot of guys with still a lot of stock, and by then things are coloured up well, very well established. So you get a much better representation of the animal, you know, what it's going to look like. So
definitely.
Hopefully the Gong might do it, or the rumour is maybe Hawkesbury might slip one in later in the year. So,
well, as long as someone slips one in later in the year, we'll all be happy. So,
anybody who wants to step up, it'd be fantastic to get something later after tax time. As Faye said before, it's a good time of year when people have a little bit of money. Hopefully this year people get some money because it's going to be a little bit tougher year. So
it is. So that's it. Chad Potts, g'day, first time on here. Welcome along, mate. Hope you enjoy our dribble. Mate. It's a dribble fest from us tonight.
It happens.
Yeah, Chris says Brisbane was great. Mr. Boswell, huge lines to get in and underestimated the space for Saturday, but it was really good. Well, that's the thing about having a new show. You don't know. You know, next year with a little bit more knowledge under the belt and, you know, a bit more... Yep. Bigger venue or whatever, like hopefully that'll change and grow and develop to meet the demands. Joe Payne, all voluntary, yeah, all workers. Colin Ray, Victorian VHS Expo was huge. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been down there. It's probably been, God, it'd have to be close to 10 years, I reckon. So, but that's the only reason I haven't been down there before is because Hawkesbury Herps and VHS were constantly, you know, the same. Yep. And they're really, like, for us to do a show here, we really need, ideally, like at least 3 weeks before another show, because it allows you to get the animals home, give them a feed for another week or two, and then, you know, let them settle down. You know, like I'd love to go down and sell at the VHS. It can be an awesome experience. But when they're too close, it's too hard. You literally have the animals out all day, put them back, and then you got to pack them and try to get down there in a week. And it's hard enough. You know, it takes a week to get yourself organised with what you're going to take, what you're going to put in the display, how you want it to look, and all that sort of stuff. And just back to back is too hard.
There's been times where they've been the same weekend, certain years, you know, but they're quite often a week apart, which is hard. But I mean, I imagine booking these things, they've got to book well in advance, so they'd be hard, you know, logistically to try and get every expo a few weeks apart. But if the timing works out well, yeah, it's definitely worth a trip.
Yeah, definitely. Elizabeth said, yeah, couldn't agree more. Saturday was huge. Sunday we changed a few things and it worked a lot better. Definitely learned a huge amount that I'll implement in next year's show. There you go. It's all about learning and growing. You know, you just got to keep supporting it, and you know, they'll just get bigger and better.
It'll grow. Yeah.
And Buzz, we have an annual pet expo here. We could tack on to that one. I reckon that'd be awesome. You know, to get one in every state again. Chad Piles, thank everyone for the hard work and making everything possible for us to enjoy. Yep, definitely. Right. Let's we could go on. We could talk about expos forever. This blasted cough. Joyce is cleaning the snakes all day.
Joe saying we're booked for April already for next year.
Yes, awesome.
And had to book that last year. So, yep. These things, people don't realise how far ahead some of these venues are booked out for. So sometimes you get what you get, you know. And I know Wollongong's been stuck on Mother's Day a couple of times, which is not ideal. But when there's no other weekend, it's Mother's Day on those days. So,
and that's the thing, we can all gripe and whinge, but sometimes it's not the you know, the people organising, the organisers actually getting much of a choice. So, you know, that's how it goes sometimes. Brad Griffiths, great year for you both. Hopefully you can come down Victoria next year. I'll be up to volunteer for one of you at the expo if you let me next year. Yeah, well, mate, you know, hopefully we can get down there. That's kind of the key to it. Darren Boswell makes a good point. If you think about it, it's only May and we've had 5 expos so far this year on the East Coast. And I think that combined with the cost of living has an impact on hatchling sales. Definitely. 100%. Yep. Dave Mars. Elizabeth done well and fixed the space issue on Sunday by opening it right up. There we go. Changing already on the weekend. Joe's book for thing. Brett Moy, what stunning keepers did you guys hold back this season? Yeah, well, we've got a few things to show.
Roll out now.
Yeah, so I may as well jump onto that. Venom Staff, how can you arrange export and import permits if you want to sell at the VHS? You can do that through, there is a way you do a mass
One bulk export.
Yeah, one bulk permit
on one.
Through to the VHS, and then you can sell on the day, I assume, through their permit on the day.
And I believe you still need to, I think then you still need to do individual exports for whatever's actually sold, but I think you can take everything on one export for the day.
Yeah.
Get the stuff there.
All right. So let's it's half an hour of talking about shows. Let's look at some critters. So do you want to go first, Brent, or you want me to go first?
You go, mate. We'll see what you rolled out. What was good from egg cut for the season just gone?
Well, I've got a kind of, some of the stuff was a bit boring, so I've actually got some from last season, maybe some from seasons before. So and
just some of Daz's favourites.
Yeah, some of my favourites. And I don't know where to start. We'll start. What are you going to go? What are you going to show me? I'm not sure where to go first.
Just go, mate. Grab something.
Right. Well, you can't have something. You can't have a. I don't know. Let's just go. We've got to have something that has silver pepper in it because
No, you're the pepper man.
Considering that was my thing. Oh, look at that. There's an arm. Look at that. Yeah. It's all fresh there.
It's albino looking.
This one comes with colours. So this is one of my favourites. I've got another guy like this. This is an albino MD, which is posset pepper, but probably seen a few posts of this guy. He's quite red. This guy actually hatched out completely red as a baby, and is now starting to show some really nice colours.
That's insane colour, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll take out the non-bitey stuff first.
And that's just MD. There's no jag in that. That's just the MD pattern coming through.
MD. You can see the MD pattern on the head, typical arrow point sort of thing they get.
Yeah.
Right up. But the colours are quite really nice, like oranges and that.
And a stunner from the start. You can tell that really deep red colour is going to come out to be so bright in the orange.
Yeah. So, some things you just hatch and you just think, wow, that's cool. You just got to keep it.
And no caramel in that clutch, or is that potentially a sunglow?
Nope, no caramel in the clutch. And that, that's I guess you do see a lot of people would look at that and go, oh, sunglow, because, it's the colours and stuff. But no, this is still stemming from the original pure albino Darwin over the pure silver pepper I made, obviously quite a few years ago now. Yeah, but a lot of the MD influence in the albinos is quite varied. Similar. I rate them up there similar to the albino bredli, obviously. With the Darwin
strength of that orange.
But you can get those really nice orange ones, or you can get some really nice yellow. So I have some that look like the typical MD pattern, but are more just your typical bright yellow and white color. So, but I kind of like the orange in this guy.
When you get the insane orange mixed with the nice MD patterning, it's that's the beautiful animal like that.
Yeah. So,
is it female, male?
Good question. I'd have to look on the box. Probably a boy.
Yeah.
All my luck seems to be the wrong sexes.
You got hemipenes everywhere over there.
Oh, I do. But that's kind of one of my favourites. You can't beat an albino. Look at that.
No, beautiful. It's like the MD blood, like you say, is mind-blowing what that, in higher percentages, 75, 88%, 93s, there's going to be some insane colour animals.
Yeah. It's such a good nature too. I find like all the MD stuff, like there's always exceptions to the rule, but I always find the MD stuff such well mentored. And when you throw in the albino gene, it seems to be even more so.
Mixes it up.
Although the albino pepper that sits here behind me is a complete arsehole, so there's always an exception to the rule.
Always a change. Chad says, very nice. Adam's family reptile den. G'day, mate. Hope you're recovering well.
Yeah, hope you're doing all right, buddy.
Stunning. Mr. Wal Roberts, how are you, mate? And Katie Corden, don't talk to me about hemipenes. She's also suffering from excess of males at her end. Seems some of her girls decided they want to do transgender, as snakes do occasionally.
What are they identifying as? So, did you want to show something, mate, or you may as well put something up?
You keep going, mate.
You keep going. Oh, all right.
Well, too hard to change cameras, mate. I'm happy sitting here watching your snakes.
All right. Well, we may as well carry along with the pepper theme. This is one of my holdbacks. I like this guy. The Murray is caramel. You can get like really caramel looking MDs, but occasionally you get ones like this guy where it actually kind of has a bit of a silvery tinge to it, I guess. So this is one of the caramel pepper jags I produced in the first bunch back there. But this guy doesn't want to sit still.
In the first year of?
Yeah. Let me just see if I can settle him down here for a sec. There you go, mate. Calm down. So you get some nice colour variation. I was going to bring two out to compare the difference, but some don't want to sit still.
Beautiful colour, isn't it? So light.
Yeah, the background colours you get tend to be a little bit more silvery along the back. I'll try and get him up to the camera a little bit more if he stays nice and relaxed. So you get the nice caramel tones. You can probably see the caramel.
Oh, yeah, you see it better there. Yeah, you can see that silvery colour you're talking about.
Yeah, then they get that kind of silvery grey in the back rather than your typical caramelly background.
Yep. Even quite like sort of bandy for Jag too. Not the typical dorsal line striping.
Yep. And it's another thing, it's a Jag, right? You hear all these people that obviously have never kept them saying, oh, they're all retailers. Look at this guy. What's wrong with him?
Yeah. Yeah. There's varying degrees, of course, but they're not all they're not all affected. Definitely Jag, you can see that head pattern is Jag as.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Don't get it record. But yeah. So there's just one. I just like these guys. Black
eyes, mate.
Yeah, black eyes. Yeah. One thing
nice.
that they all have is that solid black eye.
Black eyes too.
But just because it has a black eye doesn't mean it's a pepper. I keep saying
yes, it's the curse of the Murray, isn't it? That black eye pops up in them anyway.
Yep, but you get black eyes in other things as well. I've got them in jungles. I've got them in zebras. So, just because it's born with a black eye, for those that get into them and you see them advertised, just be warned.
Be careful.
And this was an absolute thorn in my side. This bugger did not want to eat, no matter what I did. And finally, after excuse me,
crying,
yes, much. So for anyone that watched the shows in the previous, they might have seen this guy hatch out. This is actually a ghost pepper, one of only a few, but this one is my little patch boy or girl, or whatever it is. So once he just sorts himself out, he's absolutely stunning, this guy.
Patch is weird, isn't it?
Yep, and you can see just beside my hand there's the patch. I don't know if I just put that there. There's a little black patch just there. I'm not sure.
And that was quite darker, wasn't it, when it was younger?
Yeah, it was definitely darker when it was younger. And obviously now it's colouring up. But this one compared to the first one I produced is just so much lighter. It's actually very hard to photograph.
Yep.
Every time you put on something white, everything else, it just darkens up.
Yep. Yeah. Changes the whole contrast of it.
Very light in that ghost coloration.
Yep.
And
and the beautiful eyes.
Stunning eyes. Yeah. But this guy finally managed to get him onto eating rats, and he's absolutely powering on now.
Yep. He's ready to kick on. That patch will be interesting to see what it's going to do. Is there actual pattern in that patch, or is it just a blob?
It's kind of just a, where is it? Up here. So I can hold it up so you can give a better look. There it is there. It's like it's not as visual. Like if I was to hold it back, you'd probably see it a bit better. But yeah, it's pattern. It's just got a whole pile of like dark scales.
Yeah.
So
it's odd, isn't it?
No, it's just one of those things, It's just you just add it to the keeping pile.
Just a freak of nature.
Yeah. So not that there's many of these around. I don't know of anyone else that's got them other than myself at the moment. Like
Ghost pepper? Nah,
ghost peppers.
I don't think so. Beautiful snake.
Which is caramel xanthic pepper for anyone that doesn't know. Keep your eye out on the comments
I'll
there.
take it, mate.
Sorry?
Take it, mate. I'll take it. Send it over.
Oh, look, it's in a box. I'll just stick it in a post. Express or just normal?
Nah, express, mate. I'll probably just come pick it up, actually.
Yeah. So, let's go. What we got here? What's next? I'm gonna...
More. Daniel Boswell. All the Boswells in the house tonight.
Oh.
How are you, Mr. GTP, man?
So now I'm going to bring out the bearers of blood.
Oh,
so
jungle blood.
This is a Zeb Jag I produced, which is quite different to most of the other ones because it's quite striped with some ocelots and stuff around the side. Then it's a complete and utter arsehole.
Good chance you bleed now.
Good chance. I'm not even sure. We'll see how he looks. It's just starting to colour up.
Yeah.
Part of the fluoro line I'm working on. Yeah, look at that. He's launched out already.
He looks friendly as, mate. What are you whinging about?
Yeah, so he hatched out was quite an unusual pattern. Yep. And
almost like the freaky zebra jags with those ocelots and long, horizontal lineage.
Yeah, he's 97%, in brackets pure jungle. So he's just been this line's constantly been bred. So the original was a pure jungle zebra, and I'd actually paired that with some of my pure jungles, and then I introduced with the fluoro line of jags. I introduced obviously the jag blood into it, which are up. They're probably some of the highest percentage jungle blood out there. And hence you get that lovely.
Look at that head stamp on that. That is almost perfectly symmetrical as well.
Yeah, he's an insane little guy. And you can see the colours. Like you'll get better than that as he goes if he doesn't eat me.
It's almost like some mythical the sign of the devil on the top of his head.
I've actually tried to photograph this guy, and as you can see, like the mouth. Look at the mouth. He's open there. Like, come at me, bro.
He's singing. So, come at me.
Yeah, and he's actually quite cool to touch at the moment. And look, he's still going. Should have seen him when he was hot. There's like a whole pile of pinpricks all over his hands everywhere. Yeah. Wow. But that's the joys. But he'll calm down as he gets older. But
Elizabeth likes it. She wants you to send it up. I saw it's on Elizabeth's shopping list, but I don't feel like Darren will part with that one.
Yeah, I've got this one. I've got two other fluoro Zeb Jags there as well, but just the pattern on this one's a bit different. So I kept them all, because that's what I do.
Yeah.
So, but then I go to this guy. So it's nice to have all the mutations, but sometimes it's just nice to have something pure. And these jungles, I've been breeding for probably close to 20 years now. And you put up photos, right? And I'm sure everyone looks at them and goes, "Oh yeah, mate, bullshit," But there you go. Like, is that enough yellow for you?
That's beautiful, isn't it?
There's no
that's our yellow jungle at its best.
Camera tricks or anything. It's just it is what it is. Take him out, man. Look at that.
Yeah, it's great on that black background. You can really see the color in that. Very pure looking head stamp. Jungle pattern all over it.
Yeah, nice pure. Look at him. It's like, or her, whatever it is. And that's one thing with the jungles, like a lot of this stuff I used to wholesale, and just over years I've just always kept the best few and wholesaled the rest off. But last year I kept the whole lot. I was kind of down on it, and one pair that I had, and I thought, well, I need to boost numbers. Like, it's just nice to have, the mutation like the ZJ, to have something like pure, hiding in the mix. It's nice to be able to have some pure lines and the mutations as well. Like really, it kind of gets my goat when you hear people go, "Oh, mutation breeders, blah 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 blah." Mate, we can still do both.
Yeah. Yes, you can still keep some pure lines and projects to polygenic breed with forever.
Yeah. So just one of my favorites. I've probably got I think I've got about 8. It was only a small clutch. She's only a small girl. but I just kept the whole lot and thought, keep them, see how they colour up, and they're all the same. They're all like really, really nice. Like I've got another one.
Elizabeth likes that one too. She said she'll take that one as well.
Yeah, I'm sure. Clip on lid.
Face is stunning.
Yep.
Darren Boswell, that's a wicked jungle for sure. Very, very pure looking, very nice animal.
This one you see slightly different. So this is still a jungle, but you can see how it's not quite the bright yellow. So this has actually come from the Zebjag high percentage jungle lines. So but you can see that it doesn't quite have that bright yellow about. Still nice, like kept because of the striping and stuff on there, but still
nice and clean in that colour. The beigey section still very tidy.
Yeah. So I'll put that away before they all start eating. Joys of jungles.
Then he says more banana coloured.
Yeah,
it's different.
All right. So this is from. Put a ghost zeb over a caramel jag to make some hexanthic stuff, and this is one of my favourites. I kept back. Really nice caramel zeb jag, 100% hexanthic. It's looking quite nice. It's probably going to eat me too because they're all just ouch. There we go. All these years and I still jump.
Snap.
Yeah, but yeah, he's going to just be a bugger now. There we go. So you can see some of the just a little bit of black speckling starting to come through, which is, typically do get that.
It comes, sadly, but most of them you will sort of develop into a little bit of banding, big black markers.
Yeah, I'm just going to put in. Yeah, you launch it up. Oh, there we go.
Come on, easy out of there.
Easy out of there. Feist, you got to have something to keep you on your toes. Go in there. Couldn't be all fun and games. Yeah.
Let him chill out.
Let him sit there for a sec, and then
beautiful caramel colour though. It's such a strong caramel mixed in.
Yeah, I like it.
And you quite often see, Zeb Jags, they get that beautiful pinstripe dorsal line. Quite often I've seen them head to tail with that cracker line.
Yep. So hoping that these lighter colours, once the Xanthe comes out of this, to put that into the white line project that I've got going on. So, that's kind of the goal with this, to expand on that. So, speaking of some of the white line stuff, here's a ghost. A ghost jag from the white line project, or part of what's going to be the white line project, one I produced a little while ago. So same.
That's light, isn't it?
Same, nice and light. Yeah, and these are old. These aren't last year's. These are actually season before.
This is Lark's coastal line.
Lark's coastal line. Yep. So, but I crossed into different females, lighter coloured coastals, to try to get light colours, and otherwise not going to want to sit still. And to try to lighten the colour up. It's just polygenics, really. We talk about this sort of stuff all the time, and people just grab the gene, but they don't really think about, what's the desired outcome they want to get from that gene. Like, people think, oh, we need more stuff to work with. There's tons of stuff to work with. You just have to think outside the square a little bit.
Yeah.
So, like you mentioned that in the colours of what I'm about to show you next. So, this is a project I have. I know kind of founded this white line project. I know there's another one around, but this is my own one and the original one. But this is what it is.
Yep, so, that's the joys of polygenic lines in recessive morphs. It's something that just takes time's the problem. When you want to, like you say, you find a really light coastal, you're going to make hets and then grow them up to get visuals again. It's a 6-year project. It's all going well.
100%. So to me, Xanthic. You see Xanthic and it's blacks and greys and charcoal sort of thing, like those darker colours. And, I know I've put up photos and we go, it's got to be photoshopped. So, to me, that's Xanthic.
That's contrast, isn't it?
That's, like I put that ghost photo up, but to me, that's the epitome of an Xanthic as far as I'm concerned, or it's getting there anyway. But
that's insane. That much contrast from it's clearly Xanthic with that dark black, straight onto that contrast of the super light white, grey. That's a perler.
Yeah, definitely one of my favourites. So the head photo I put up the other day was the ghost version of this. So this one has been another pain in my butt. Didn't want to eat anything other than small mice, so I've been fighting with it for probably a good 10 months or so. And you can probably see it's got a little bit of a bulge in the belly here. So I've actually finally got it eating rats now. So, considering its siblings are eating extra large rats, this guy's quite small.
Got some catching up to do, but well worth the effort. And it's definitely something you're worth deploying the patience on.
Quite, like I just said it was down here.
That's super clean, isn't it?
Yeah. It's really crisp.
You often see them get, dark scale tipping and just a bit washed out in some of the lighter areas, but that thing's beautiful.
Yeah, I would like to have brought the ghost there as well, but he's a bit bigger.
Not going to sit under the camera well.
So it's always been my goal to make, black and white, such as this guy. And then, we talk about polygenic. So, down the track, I brought out the ghost pepper before. So the idea with that is to get that pepper look, but in this coloration, to get real nice, crisp black and whites. This guy's still got some improvement, I reckon, but, he's there. I think this is kind of like the opposite scale of the jungle. You got that real nice high black and yellow, and this is kind of the black and white version.
Yep.
Of just a nice looking animal.
The perfect gelatin version.
Yeah. It's even whiter than the gelatins that I've had. So.
But that's something to grow up for a couple of years and then pick the best out and go again. It's a never-ending project.
Good, it does want to eat my face off.
Semi-friendly.
So, we always talk about carpets on here, but I like it when we get a few Antaresia people coming on. So, you can't just do one thing, do you? You've got to do ants as well. So, I like
Marty will be upset. Wait for the whinging from Marty now.
Wait for the whinging. So he's a little.
I can hear him whinging already. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane.
Yeah, I swap lanes. I'm a hog. So here's a little marble I produced. This is a Posset T Plus as well. So what do you do, buddy? Come on. There you go.
Oh, he's done a little poo in your hand and all, mate. He loves you.
That's why I've got all this paper here, because I knew that was going to happen. So don't handle these guys. Don't you squirt?
It's a good exploded pattern in it. That's the variation of marbles, just insane. There's so many directions.
Yeah, well, there we go. He's just got
the
toilet. There we go. Go in there, go toilet. I don't handle them. According to the tub. Settle down, mate. It's all good.
Might be safer in the tub. He wants to pee on everything now.
Yep, but the marbles are unreal the way they colour change.
Yep.
Like from where they hatch from being a little pinky white snake sort of thing to this with a little stripe on his head and stuff. But I'm pretty sure there's a table there as well, but it's deep in shed at the moment. It's a bit lighter all around. So, mate, chill out. It's all good. So
doesn't want to be friends much, but good looking.
Yeah. So but we can't stop there with the ants, can we? It's just a marble. I'll just deep poo myself. So I was lucky to get on this project, Brent. So it's not going to eat me.
Something nasty. Mr. Faison Roberts. G'day, mate. Oh. Nice to see you back out again, Mr. Daz, says Faison.
Yeah. Ouch. So this is a little...
Nice to see him bleeding again. I like it when Daz gets bit.
Yep. So this is a little tricolour stimmy from WA. And it's het for this guy, which is a Colin Ray line T+. So these will become a pair in the future. But,
loving the Colin Ray stuff. Yep. Such good colour.
I love this the tricolour stimmy. It's just that kind of, some I've heard people call them giraffe stimmies and stuff, but yeah, these are from WA.
Got that patterning on them, but look at that T plus.
Yeah. So credit for these, actually, well, the line, the T plus Stimson goes to Colin Ray for this, which I got through Faye, Queen of Ants. This one wants to just sit still. He's nice and warm, these guys. They're all heated up. There we go. Look at that.
Fazy, the Antaresia Queen of the South, sneaking out a few nice little things.
Yeah. Absolutely loving these guys. So I do like Antaresia. I've had them for, actually, they were the first thing was a diamond python, then I bought Max. So I've had them for as long as I've had carpets, pretty much. But these Colin Ray line, so if anybody, wants to get into these guys, Colin Ray or Faye, they've both got these guys. I'm not sure who else is breeding them at the moment, but
doing a good job. I think everyone wants in on them. I think Marty's got a few. I mean, everyone's loving them. Everyone wants to get in on the action. They're certainly the nicest of the T plus lines out there, in my opinion. Anyway, everyone, definitely, everybody loves them.
I'm just going to de-poop myself. And so one more, which was our prized breeding, the one that we have anticipated for many years, sitting here waiting for some person to make this pairing.
Shut up! Just get the snake out.
Apparently, I had to do it in one season.
Well, clearly, I wasn't going to do it after I think 2 or 3 years of trying. So I'm glad you got it done.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing flash to look at the moment, but this is a Jag, which I like, and it's double het pepper granite. So
finally, we see the magic pepper granite combo.
Yeah,
but heads. So
yep.
Definitely 2 individual morphs going on in there.
Yep, definitely not a, same thing as some would like you to believe. But, showing that they're both the recessive traits and not the same at all, the pepper and the granite gene. But,
Daz did a great job of proving it out. So we've got a clutch there for us to play with down the track.
Whee, happy chappy. Are they all happy?
Typical friendly Jag.
Yeah. They've been pretty good. They took a little bit to get them feeding, but now they're absolutely smashing their feeds down now.
Yeah.
So,
looking like he's hungry again.
Oh, I reckon I could feed him every 3 days if I wanted to.
Jags love their food quite often. They
I think he wants
around.
I think he wants my finger. There you go, mate. It's all good. Oh, a little bit stressed, a bit chilled in here, a bit chilly in here tonight, I should say. But
fresh. Very nice. G'day, James from Trent Humphreys. Hope you lads are both well.
Yeah, I'm good. So that's kind of it for me for now for show and tell. I've always got more to show, but you can't keep going forever. Brent's got some stuff to show as well. So
Katie, you reckon she wants a pair of those double heads? What's the chances of from 1 to 10 of Katie having a pair of those double heads?
I don't understand the scale. That in that scale, there's a chance.
Hang on, let me put it on the big screen.
Oh, yes. 0 to 10. Yeah, that was a good clutch. So what have you got for us, mate?
Let me just change to that camera. Now I've got to do stuff. I was enjoying just watching your snake show for a while, but now you want me to get bitten and bleed and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I can't be the only one. Got a little bite marks all over me.
Well, I fed most of mine today, so I'm going to try not to disturb them too much, but I'll go straight to the albino granite because it's been a favourite of mine, and it's something that I worked on for many, many years to get, and now in the process of refining heavy yellow lines and the magic white lines, as everybody loves so much.
Yep. You would have been the first to produce these two out here, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And I don't know why, but no one else has done it for some time. It's been years. I've grown up adults and bred them, and still I don't think there's any others out there. So,
yeah.
Stunning pattern. There's just so much variation in the patterning and the color of these things that you get fine pattern, heavy pattern, more white, more yellow.
Yep.
This one looks like it's going to be one with a really nice bright yellow patterning on it.
Yep.
So with a bit of full belly there, eating
Stunning.
well. This is actually one of the girls from the Magic Patho clutch.
Oh,
where
yeah.
I paired the silver pepper boy up to the albino granite girl.
Yep.
And hatched out 2 female albino granites. So,
Parthenogenetic, meaning they claim the mum.
Yep, two perfect girls, copies of mum. So both eating well.
Yeah, obviously.
Where to focus? Yeah, they're. I was hoping that they would eat well and they'd kick on strong because I'm not sure. I talked to Nick Mutton a little bit about it, but we're trying to just find out, how much work's been done from people who've bred Patho clutches to grow them up and breed them and see what comes of it, see how well they do, how well established they get. So I'm glad they kind of kicked off and got going for me.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll bring this one out for you, Daz, because
it's kind of nice when you've got like back in the day you'd buy a pair of hats and you have to grow them up, and there's always then you hopefully get your visual, and then it's getting that visual to another head to actually start to secure some numbers. Oh my god, that's my one, isn't it?
That is one that you would like to own, yes.
Yes, that's one of the hottest exanthic BHPs I have seen for a long time.
They are
stunning,
beautiful. It's a little bit unfriendly, but like BHPs, it'll just calm right down very quickly. Let me just get rid of that.
You find he headbutts more than actually bites, like my lovely Zebs and Jungles over here.
Definitely. They're all show. They're a lot of bluff.
Look at the head on
colour. Yeah, it's got a bit of the white chin going on.
Yeah.
But this one's got that really light colour, and as adults, this one's mum's like a ghosty colour. It's like more of a silvery sort of colour, than different to the greys. It's hard to explain, but I'll get a picture of the 2 holdbacks I kept that I used last year. One looks grey, one looks, dark grey, I guess you could say. They're very, very different, but they're such stunning animals of like that pinstripe patterning that I've been working on for probably too long. I think it's time to outcross them and, bring some fresh blood into it. But these things are insane.
It's funny. I know we've spoken about this before. You used to get, going back a long time, you get the blackheads that had a very, very dark dorsal stripe, very, very black and heavy.
Yeah.
No one wanted that. That was like the in brackets, the ugly duckling of blackheads. Instead of being a black and gold jungle, it was black and pastel yellow. That was considered the not nice jungle. And I've always preferred this look over the real dark back. And I know everyone has their own taste, but I always prefer these much lighter coloured, pinstripey style exanthics. Is that quite a light dot on the jeez on the middle of its head there as well?
Yeah, it's got that little white spot.
He likes you. I can tell. He's like, Daddy.
No, they carry on. Like, they just think that they're so tough when they're small, and then you pick them up and they just shut right up. Like. So let's see. I've got a few that have had that white spot on the head, on the top.
Oh, yeah.
And quite a lot that have.
That. Wow.
Which is like, the K brothers had the gold chins.
Yep.
So these obviously being exanthic turn into white chins.
Yep.
So, but it's been an interesting factor. 3 or 4 have had that on the head. A couple of them did fade away, but quite a few of them had stayed. I've got one that's a full adult that still maintains that marking on the top of the head. So
yeah. So what chin, spotted, dotted head, BHPs.
White dot head.
White dots. White dots.
Beautiful snakes. They're I think BHPs are the most stunning hatchies. Before I saw these, I'll show you one shortly of the real high percentage Bredley Jags. They're stunning out of the egg, but I don't think much compares to BHPs young. They are insanely good looking.
Yeah, BHPs are like monitors. They come out of the egg absolutely spectacular, completely opposite from like carpets and that need that time to colour up over a couple of years.
Yeah, and then just get uglier as they get older. It's like the sad truth of
it's like if you see an adult BHP, like 8 or 9 years old, and it is still a good looking snake, the babies are going to be spectacular. So
Yeah, their colours just blend and they smear, they sort of smudge out in between the lines and things. So,
yeah.
Here's a little caramel freaky zebra jag.
Yeah, very cool.
So this one, you can see some of that oceloting little circle pattern going through it. And it's just the nice line of caramel stuff too. It's from the Xanthic clutch, so it'd be a head Xanthic from Lark's line stuff.
Little circles around the side, very nicely oscillate.
Yeah, I love sort of, there's a lot of that freaky stuff around. There wasn't too much of the jag stuff, so it's interesting to see what the jag would do to it. And I was glad I sort of launched into it a bit because I'll show you this one and then the next one of the updated version of that one. There definitely was something I was glad that I kept. Try not to disturb these too much because this one, as you can see, has got a giant belly of food.
Oh, look at that. I remember that hatching. It's still stunning. Look at that.
Yes, it was out of the. Oops, sorry, mate. Out of the egg was mental snake.
Yeah, that must be mine.
No, funny enough, it's mine.
Damn,
and,
it's worth a shot.
Yeah, charm down. It's got a cracking line on it, but then down the sides, that dorsal pattern is something, but the side little circle patterns all over it.
Yeah.
Now.
I think what makes it look cool is you've got that pinstripe, and then you've almost got a nice blank, patch on either side that stems most way down the body, and then you've got the circles down the side.
It's just a good blend of tiny circles, and it's from head to tail too. It's down both sides that it does that. I'll try and get the head up there.
Yeah. Tri-stripe, tri-color, circle, dot, patchwork. Like
then just throw some ghost and zebra jag in there for fun.
Ghost, zeb, blizzard, patch, something or other.
It's got a few things going on.
Yeah, that's crazy good.
But I was hoping to just get some ghost freaky stuff, and these were just the added bonus pack of some of that work of that clutch. So
add a little bit of freebie on top.
Yeah, absolutely loving the freaky stuff. It was a year that I sort of popped a few things out in freaky that were very surprising, just absolutely stunning. Some of the combos. I'll grab the Xanthic one of those. This little boy of the this is just a straight Xanthic freaky, also with a fat belly.
Wee belly.
So this one I almost sort of thought about selling, and then I thought, what am I doing? You definitely are not selling this thing. It shed one day, and I went, oh my god!
Look at it. It's almost it's kind of like zebra's wrong name. It's almost more like a leopard when you look at the pattern on it.
Yeah, yep. It's crazy fine ocelots all over it. Such tight patterning as well.
Need that introduced into my white line.
It would be nice, wouldn't it, if you could get that such crispness between, the black, and you would get that base color white as. That would be quite the animal.
Absolutely. It's funny you mentioned now, you almost sold it. The amount of times, and I've sold stuff in the past and then regretted it. So now I tend to, breed things. If it's the first time I've bred it, I tend to try to hold most of it back for at least 12 months for this reason. You look at it one day, you go, oh yeah, no worries, and you just kind of flog it off. But then, try to hold it back and give those animals that 9 to 12 months at least to start showing their, in brackets, true colors. And you can mark something out of it going, oh yes, I like this, I like that. But sometimes 12 months down the track, what you thought was a animal that you'd move on or sell suddenly become, oh geez, I might keep
something
that.
Insane. Yep. Yeah. And certainly once someone sends you a photo or something like that, and you go, oh my God, why did I sell that? Like, it's not a nice feeling.
Joshua McNamara says, will you swap my tax return, Brent? That's not selling it.
It's a trade. It's a bargain.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's stay on the same theme then.
Yeah, we've got a few things left to go through soon, but we'll get to everybody.
And let's try a yellow one.
Oh wow, you got the full color package.
This was the funny story, Darren. I remember you abusing me profusely when I rang you to tell you. Twice this season, I stood in front of my incubator and have just sworn and said, "What have I done? I've done something wrong. There's wrong pairings. There's something not normal." One was the patho clutch of the albino granite girl who spat out 2 albino granites, and I've rung Darren and gone, "What is going on?" And Darren was straight on the money of that's patho, and that certainly is the correct answer. And this one was one of the first ones that hatched out from this particular clutch, which was a snow by what I believed at the time was a freaky zebra head exanthic that I'd made myself many years ago. If I could get this thing to stay still, you could actually get a good look
at it.
On it.
You can see the same patterning in that as the exanthic, obviously, just in the albino form. Like you can see the similarities between the two.
Yeah, and I was worried once you added albino, I thought you're adding more Darwin blood mix. I was worried the albinos would never happen or they would never be good. You know, they would look shit. But this one certainly proved that it can happen. So when it popped out, I was in disbelief there was albinos in this clutch for a start, but it turned out that the freaky zebra head exanthic was in fact a posshead albino that I hadn't, well, I knew about because the year after I'd made the mother of this one, the exanthic, the head exanthics, I had proved it out. There was a posshead albino, the mother super zebra, and I'd proved it out, but it's just because it happened the year after, I'd never really considered it too much. But looking back, it was like an extremely pleasant surprise of, oh, hello, this one's proved out to be a freaky zebra double head after all.
Of course, I think everything you have is the poss head is 100% hit for you with your luck.
Well, funny enough, I have a sister that I just paired to a ghost for a random one-off one-night stand, and of course the clutch came from that girl as well. So there's some work to do on that one to try and prove her out as well. So we'll see, and they will be all 50% as well. So it's a tougher job to try and prove those out, but that one was a very nice surprise.
Yeah, they're starting. They'll be very interesting to see as they get older. That's for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait to see some of those things big, with a bit of size on them.
Yeah, definitely.
So here's a bit of your own white line action.
Oh, wow, look at that.
And this was meant to be just one of the good old ghost jags, but we seem to have got some sort of paradoxing,
looks more
like chimeraing something.
Yep.
So it's the one that I remember when we cut this one live.
Yep.
And had some weird patching, and that weird patching has certainly grown, developed. Some patches have gone stark white, like absolutely perfectly white. I might try and see if I can get this to zoom and stay in focus. Come on. Maybe not.
You can see the white in it.
But yeah, it's got some weird stuff going on. It's a very light where the big food lump is, which is it's just stretching of scales, that. But quite a few, on its head and down its back.
Oh, hang on, mate. You've overfed it.
Yeah, that's the trick to it.
Yeah, you got to feed them. Yeah. That's crazy, isn't it? Like, it even looks like it's got dark patches there as well.
Yep, yeah, it's got some blackening, and I'm not sure if that's, ghosts sometimes get those black scaling patches coming through where it's just some wild type pattern coloring up, but there's almost widespread dark patches, like wild type areas and then white patches. So
yeah, because you can see like on the coil it's got over the food bump there, you can almost see some like almost wild type coloration with the the caramelly colors, I suppose you could call it. You know, a little bit. I don't know if it's just a camera or, but yeah,
it's different. It's definitely different. So, and at first I thought maybe, you know, it's paradoxing and there's a bit of snow in there, but it wasn't really that white. But as it's got older now,
is that
some of
post
those
head albino as well?
I think it's head albino.
Or head out, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so there's albino in there. So I think it could be snow or I don't think it's moon. I think there's only a possibility. Oh no, there's ghost in there, so it's got to could be snow or moon. That those white patching on it.
White patches. Yeah.
Something different, and it's it was a little slow to kick off, but now it's just erupted. It's feeding very well now, so
yeah,
something different. And I was only whinging last year saying I never get these weird things, you know, these patchy type animals.
It's like the little head exanthic jag I've got that's got an exanthic patch on one half of its face.
It's got weird stuff. Yeah, you get those odd freaks.
Yep.
And white snakes, Daz. Do you know about white snakes?
No, please tell me.
Well,
I've not seen one. I've got green snakes. They're close.
It's just a bit lighter on the color scale than what those green ones you made.
Yeah.
But you can get white ones. So apparently, if you pair the right things and hit the odds, snakes come out white.
Opry section statement: hit the odds.
After 100 or so eggs at your end, sadly, the odds gods have been very unkind. Don't get sick of hatching these out. It's
stunning, aren't they?
It's been a few years I've hatched them out. The father of I don't know if it was this clutch, but one of them's a breeding male up to size and pops out more white ones. It's much easier once you have a white one to make more white ones.
Definitely. So what are you thinking, that snow or moon glow, or you're on the fence at the moment?
Don't know. This one to me looks as good as moon. It's very, very white. There's one that I've got that's a year back from this one that's just still pure white. I posted it not long ago. It's the best looking one I think I've made, and I'd have to say it being nearly 18 months old, I'd say it's going to be a moon for sure. I've had them at this age that look moon, and then 3 months later they shed and there's a lot of yellow, and then at a year you can definitely tell they're a snow. So they're definitely not a snake you should sell as a moon glow before a year old, you know.
No, you see a lot of posts on Facebook in regards to full moon and moon glow and this, that, and the other. But you know, when you look at, polygenically speaking, when you look at the caramel trait or the hypo trait, either doesn't matter. You know, you'll get ones that exhibit no melanin whatsoever. And then you'll get, at the other end of the scale, you'll get those darker caramels that still exhibit melanin and have a much darker tone to them. Definitely. So, you know, keeping that in mind, when you add that into that genetic combination with the exanthic and the albino, you're still going to have a polygenic variation. It's just going to be much harder to pick because you have removed so much pigmentation with the albino and the exanthic gene.
Yep.
So, you know, really, like, you know, you see people advertising this, that, and the other, but it's like, oh, God, interrupt my train of thought, why don't you?
Their variation is always going to be out there, and sometimes real kick in the nuts that you don't love, you know?
Yeah. A full moon, Darren asks, what's a full moon? So caramel's incomplete dominant trait. So a full moon is when you have the super form of a caramel. So in other words, 2 copies of the caramel gene is a full moon, and a moon glow is 1 copy of the caramel gene. So, or, you know, being the heterozygous caramel. So, but you can't tell the difference with, when you look at the caramel gene. I have a number of animals that you can't tell if they're caramel or super caramel until you actually breed them. It's the same with the moon glows. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's Katie, same thing. Mate, look at that contrast. That is crazy.
Nuts. This is out of one of the pepper clutches, the Murray line things. Jaguar for sure. Definitely that head stamp and that patterning jag, but such clean background, you know, like you say, contrast for days, but it's just that background light white. It's actually behaved itself. It's amazing. Normally, once you feed them, they want to kill everything.
Darren Boswell, are there many full moons around? Mate, there probably is, but people really need to breed them to prove them out. That's so. Oh. That's like the albino version of my my white line xanthia, isn't it? Really, it's like almost getting that.
Yep. Because it's got, I think there's the whiteness of the background. You know, when it's such a light, clean, especially up near the head.
Yeah,
they're so light and clean, such crisp color. You know, it's hard to put words to it, but clean and crisp is, you know, when you see those colors.
Yeah, it's definitely the contrast in the albino jag with that, because a lot of the you know that you don't get that contrast.
Yeah,
like you don't get it as much. Like that's just crazy good.
I would have loved if it slipped in pepper gene in this one as well. That would have been the absolute ultimate of it.
So that's the MD blood in that one?
That is MD mixed. Yeah. So it's a female, so I'll probably keep it. There's posshead pepper.
Yep.
So it could be, you know, with the Murray in it, it could be albino jag, could be sunglow jag.
Yep.
I think it's probably a caramel to caramel pairing. So it could be super glow, super caramel, you know, sun glow.
Yep.
So it's a nice one though. Certainly something that stands out against some of the other ones in the clutch.
Well, I reckon that contrast in those freaky albinos, Ebs, mate, that would be quite stunning.
Yeah, that's the thing when you try and mix in some of those. You see a trade in something and think that'd go nice mixed into that. You know, you just give yourself another 5 years of breeding work.
Definitely. Ryan Mills, any pythons without scales? There are, mate. Not in carpets, but there are quite a few snakes, those scales. But scaleless ball pythons is a big one. And you got obviously a few different scaleless colubrids. There's scaleless detonators as well. Been around for quite a long time.
Yep. So, a few projects overseas going.
Yep. Hey, so is this one of your Bredli Jags?
Bredli Jaguars, 87.5%. Bredli Jaguars. And same deal. You know, when I look at the heads on these things, super crisp, super clean.
Yep, definitely.
I was surprised how good they were as hatchies, you know, like it's an animal that, you know, most hatchies are just dull and boring, and then occasionally you pop something out like this where the color, like that red color, is just mental good. You know?
What have you noticed, right? Like I've obviously bred some caramel Bredli Jags myself in the past, but not as such a high percentage. So they do have still that Bredli color tinge to them. But it seems as they get a higher percentage of Bredli in them, the Jags actually get more pattern. Like that's got a heavier pattern than some of the ones I have. Mine are almost completely patternless caramel. I've got a couple of 75% Bredli Jags, so they're more a goldeny yellowy color sort of thing as opposed to the reds in that. Have you noticed with the clutch that they tend to have a heavier pattern overall and more of the Bredli colorations with those reds?
I think it's just the percentage, you know, when you get into 88% Bredli, you know, it's the Jags sort of, it's still there, the mutation existing, and it's still doing its thing, but it's just such a high percentage Bredli in it that it's just
Bredli color
it's taking over, you know. It's hard to compete with that much Bredli blood in it, that the color just comes through and the banding and the Bredli sort of patterning still comes through. So
yeah, look at that head, it's crazy. What a cool head stamp too.
Cool head stamp. This one's my keeper, but I've got there's a big clutch being Bredli, of course. They lay some monsters, but I sort of got quite a few of these out in the clutch, and generally I'm not so happy to get huge odds on the Jags, but on this one I was very happy to have quite a nice selection of them.
Yeah. Have you got a normal Bredli to go with it? Ryan Mills says, can you compare him with a normal Bredli?
Yep. We'll go back up the rack a little bit. Oh, no, that's still Bredli Jag.
Evening, Carl. That's right, mate. Not everyone gets to see us live. We're a special pair. So, yeah, so there's a big difference there, isn't there?
So that's from the same clutch. Just your, well, very high percentage bredly, but not pure.
Yep.
But definitely the difference in color is insane. You know, like the Jag's just so much more red.
Yeah, really hot
color. This one's probably unfairly a darker of the wildy type ones out of that clutch, but definitely a much difference in color and pattern.
Yeah, those darker bredli types, that's what you want to get into the albino. Get the dark orange.
Definitely. It's a shame they are just, they're not het anythings.
No, cool critters.
Yeah, still nice in their own mix, and I find the bredli stuff always eats well, generally very well behaved animals.
Yeah.
There's something just a little different. I quite like the plainness of super zebras. They're an animal that's, because everything's just got pattern. When you take away that pattern, there's something a little bit, I don't know. I just like them in every single color, Yeah. Sunbow ones and exanthic ones and ghost ones, and even wild types get a crazy green color going sometimes. That's very nice.
Well, that's kind of the goal with the Zeb Jag I put up before, to get that bright yellow, jungle yellow, into the super zebra form.
Yes, that I don't know why that hasn't been more defined. That fluoro yellow in a super zebra could be as good as the Sunglow super zebras. It's definitely worth exploring.
Yeah, definitely. Benjamin Morris, how's the Jag gene these days? Years ago, people would say that all Jags have some sort of neurological issue, but now it seems they are issue free. Mate, they do. It coincides with the gene, so you'll never get rid of it. But unfortunately, you get people just go, "Oh, it's a Jag." They're all, show extreme neurological disorder, but they don't. If you go back and look at the show, I've had a number of Jags out. Brent's had a number of Jags, and they hardly exhibit any signs of neurological signs. So, it's a minority that are exceptionally bad. So, God, look at that. That's like how my mom was looking.
This is the same blood. This is your Murray line stuff, and you're talking about how red some of them hatch.
Yep.
So
that is stunning.
The color of some that just pop out is just mental.
That's awesome. That's unreal. That's like, I did that post the other day comparing the albino bredli and the albino MD. And I reckon, they can be on par. I see the bredli seems to be a little bit more crisper in terms of color. But I don't know. There's something about the MDs where they're a bit crazier, but the reds are just as good.
Yeah, I think the bredli stuff sometimes seems a little lighter, brighter orange. The MD seems deeper color at times, and it's probably because of this, how strong some of those red base colors are, on those animals. It's just, when they hatch, sometimes it's just mind-blowing. You're like, what is that? They almost look caramel.
Yep.
Compared to other stuff.
Well, that one I showed first off was completely red as a hatching. Yeah, like there was zero. You've seen photos of it. There was like zero signs of patterning on it. I figured something would come through, but when it was born, you'd look at it and think it was like a caramel. And I'm like, no, it's albino. Like a few people said, oh, it looks caramel. I'm like, yeah, but it's albino. And I think it's just because they got those dark, richer type reds in it.
Yep.
So, Jared Sharp, g'day, mate. Hope you're doing well.
Sharpie's connected. Got the mice running flat out for his satellite internet.
Yeah. Phil Colvin, loving the show tonight, boys. Thanks, mate. Chad Potts, Red Eye, awesome. Absolutely. Look at that thing. God.
This is the same clutch, just showing that redness. And this is when this hatched, I was like, is it caramel? Is it albino? Is it sunglow? You can almost not tell, what it is, and now I think it's albino.
Is there, well, the first thing, like you said to me, is there caramel in that line?
Yeah.
So is there caramel in that line that you have? There is?
Definitely. Yep. So it could be super caramel. They're both parents of caramel too. So, the odds are it's going to be 50% of them are going to be caramel, 25% super caramel, and, a quarter will be just albinos, but it's just such a don't know because of that Murray blood,
Yeah. That's stunning. But awesome, super cool. Carl Smith, dare you to take a black light to that? Darren Boswell, I don't think you'll ever get a bright yellow super zebra as the gene tends to blend all the black with the yellow to make that mustard color. What do you guys think? Mate, I think you could over time. I don't think you're wrong. I think you're right, and that's why you see a lot have that mustardy sort of color. But I think, you've got to look at what they've paired to produce it. So, anything that doesn't have bright yellow to bright yellow, I think you're going to end up with a darker mustardy color. I've seen some that are quite light, but yeah, whether we'll actually get the fluoro yellow or not, yeah, good question. But, if you don't try, you don't know. One of my favourite, mate, caramel pepper.
Mate, and like you talk about, excuse the turd, cleaning lady will be in tomorrow to rectify that.
We all get that.
We feed on Sunday and Sheree cleans on Monday. But this one, like you say, talk about pain in the arse snakes. I remember when this one hatched, it's a caramel to caramel, so it's a caramel pepper. It's possibly a super caramel pepper.
Yep.
I remember it hatching, and I remember when you hatched one out that was really almost patternless.
Yep.
I remember seeing this in the egg, and went, wow, this thing's going to be insane. And of course, the thing just would not eat. Like, it was just a pain in the ass. So here we are a year later, and it's been a very, very long road to get. I'll see if this thing's going to sit still now. To get any sort of size on this thing, it's been one that will eat, will not eat, will just continual pain in the butt. But that patterning, it's going to sit still.
Yeah, look at that. It actually looks a little bit more. It could just be the camera. Mine looks a bit lighter than that.
Yep.
But mine seem to be lighter. But now, as it's getting older, my one's the same in terms of being an absolute arse to not eat. I've had the same issue with it as that Xanthic I put up before. It's just started, like they were both feeding on mice, and I've been trying to get them on the rats, and they just would not have a bar of rats. So I now have them both feeding on rats. But yeah, but now that it's a bit older than that one, some of that melanin's starting to come through, and I really like it. It's like a speckled melanin, and I actually like the look of it. So it'll be interesting to see what it looks like as it gets older.
It's much more peppered sort of patterning. If that's the black's more exploded and a bit more concentrated on the edges. So
yep,
it's different.
Different. Chad goes, are these for sale? I'm sure if you sent Brent a message or myself, not necessarily all the animals we showed are, but excuse me, we both have plenty of other options. So, Julie. Oh, hi, Julian. How you
going? Julian's in there. We're still talking, mate. That's what Darren does best. He's the talk master.
That's it. That's exactly right. Even when it comes to the Bar Crushers Facebook page.
Yeah, you bloody professional fisherman, you.
Yeah. I wish. That's unreal, mate. I did actually want to show the that stripe one in the post you put up, which is let me just screen share here for a second. Is it going? Check the tab. Okay. Oh, I guess it's all new here. What's going on here? Oh, there we go.
New screen sharing technology.
Yeah, it's updated. So that one that you put a post up, that stripe one, I did actually want to show that tonight, which is starting to go really good now. And when I grabbed it out of the drawer, it is completely in shed, and even sitting here, I can hardly see the stripe on it myself. So that's one to keep an eye on. There's a couple of nice ones in that clutch, but we'll have to keep them for another show, I guess.
Fresh shed, we might be able to get them out after the couple of them pop out some nice clean skin.
Yeah, and this is I don't like this. Got to click too many buttons now. And that was my original one. So same like yours. So it's a little bit lighter in the coloration, but a lot of these darker spots you see now are starting to get a bit of melanin in them. And mine are the same, mate. Mine are also possible supers as well. Because both parents in these particular guys are caramel double het pepper.
Caramel.
Yeah. So they're all same as the ghost I put up before. That ghost pepper. There's possible super as well, but I don't worry about it because I'm not selling it. So
no, one day you'll grow it up and breed it, and it will or it won't be. It's not going to change anything. But
Julian, imagine you two working together. It's a terrible combination, mate. Let me tell you.
There is some lengthy chats at times. It's like, you shut up, you shut up, you shut up. You go do some work.
Yeah. Do you want me to do something? No, let's talk about snakes then.
It never ends.
It never ends. It's good. No, that's good, mate. I think we showed a good bit of variety there. Some cool critters, and hopefully some more to come this season. You kind of got any particular pairings that if you only got one or two, you got something
pairing snakes. Do we have to? Is it that time again?
No, I was just curious if obviously we don't go a season without breeding something. I thought there might be, maybe there's something special you're trying to breed this season, or you just no.
No, definitely. I've slow grown up. Well, they're 2.5 years old. The caramel triple het, granite xanthic albino clutch.
Ooh, cool.
So they are. I think I've got 5, maybe 6 girls that are suitable size over 2 kilo mark.
It's way too many. One must be mine.
No, they're all mine, all of them. And there's a couple of boys I've got, the triple head boys. I kept a wild type boy because I want to try and isolate to a wild type girl so I can see what snow and granites will look like, so I can know it is a snow for sure. Because once we throw in caramel, we won't know. It'll be a waiting game and breeding game. So if I can get a white one out of the wild type pairs, it'll be nice to know what it is straight up.
Yeah.
So I've got a caramel.
That would be cool.
Yeah, caramel triple head boy will do most of the rest of them. So there'll be a lot of caramel to caramels. There's some jag stuff in there, so there'll be caramel jag triple head. It's a lot of combos. So you might think 5 or 6 is too many. I think it's not enough because there's odds there 1 in 512 you're chasing to try and get caramel and jag and the 3 recessives mixed into stuff. It's quite the fishing game. So it'll take many years of breeding, I'm sure, to try and see the combos.
I can't even get a moon glow, mate.
1 in 32, you're pushing shit uphill. Now we want to see 1 in 256 days. Let's go.
Yeah, that's it. The next step's the blind-buying one when you start getting up to 1 over 1,000 and whatever it is.
1,024.
1,024, yep.
There's some insane numbers to come, and that's where the hobby's heading. You look at Jay Brewer and some of the retic clutches they're pulling now. They got no clue what they are.
Well, that's it. They're starting to combine so many genes that everything coming out's genetic something or other. But it's trying because you've already got something with 3 genes that's set for 4 other different genes. It's crazy.
Yeah, you got to wait and breed it later to 3 different animals, to find out what's in it. It's mental. I see Jason was saying loving the live stream, guys, but not sure where the live chat is. Not seeing comments because I think Jason's coming in from YouTube, so he might not see all the feed of the comments, which also come in through Facebook. Facebook comments through several groups. Darren's Morelia by Design page and my KHP page. So on our screen we see all of it. It streams them all into our channel, but on each individual platform, I think you only see what's on there. So sometimes Dad's are smart and he clicks on them and makes them put them up on the screen so everyone can see them. But tonight he's just stupid, so you have to excuse him. See, look at that, eh? There's technology.
Oh, stupid. We want to play that game, do we? Let me go to this little function I was talking to you about before.
No, don't go clicking around stupid things on the screen, you spastic.
I can change the wording.
just read the comments and press the buttons. Are you with the keyboard there?
You're in trouble. Michelle's telling you to get to bed. You're both going to go up to work.
It is time, apparently. apparently we have no excuses for being tired and grumpy tomorrow because we were playing snakes all night.
Yeah. God, we were going to do it. It was only going to be a short show, wasn't it? An hour and 40 later, but
I said 45, and we just slipped a 1 in front of it. So
yeah, it's not always easy, and I think when we've got, it's interesting to talk about so much different stuff and show. Like it's probably the first time we've actually gone back and shown so many hatches. I know we've shown a few here and there, but I think it was cool. It's certainly something we want to do more often as well.
If we do it more often, it might not take as long, Daz. You ever considered that? We could do, short show with 4 snakes each, maybe?
Yeah, depends. We can start the racky behind me and
you have show every night.
But yeah.
I see Katie saying you should just do a show for your vacation seekers. We have talked about that, and maybe we will do some of that more, of just do Daz, he's got these 6 snakes looking for new homes. We might do the odd show here or there of showing stuff that is available, not so much just the holdbacks, but it was a mix tonight. I think mine and Daz's, some are available, some are never leaving.
Yep, some are just the starts of projects, some are partway through projects. So, but you put pictures up and I'm sure people think, oh, it's not real. He put up in front of a camera and it's there. It's real. You can see it's moving. You can see the colors.
No hiding. Can't edit a video.
Yeah, And
well, I can't. I'm sure someone can, but it's harder to edit a video. Photoshop. Anyone's got it on their phone.
That takes way too long. We just what you see is what you get. Don't make a whole heap of videos and then spend half an hour editing it for YouTube or however long it takes. Hours, days. I don't know. But I think showing some of the stuff you have, and that's just kind of like the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more as well. And I know we've talked about, obviously with work and everything else that's going on, it's not easy, but I know we've talked about doing a show from each other's house and go a little bit more through maybe some of the adult stuff and things like that. But it takes a lot more work and organisation and stuff like that. So got a lot planned coming up. Want to get a few guests on as well, just people to have a chat to, and obviously breeding season's knocking on the front door. So I know I haven't paired anything yet. I don't think you have either, have you, Brent?
No, definitely not. Like you were talking about pairings, that triple head's about the only thing I'm definitely doing. There won't be much else, but you might have a little bit bigger season this year, you think?
Yeah, I don't think I'll probably, similar to what I had last season, I think. I'll probably do a massive one, maybe 15, 20 clutches tops sort of thing. Just to try and bolster a few numbers of things that I, like obviously the albino peppers is one thing, I've just been struggling to get numbers of. So a few things looking at that. So I want to keep that project going on. A few new things I want to try and get paired up. So a few ant projects and stuff I'm working on. Not that anything flash with the ants, but just try and boost those numbers because, once you can get some of the visual stuff out, it makes projects easier going forward. Like you said, you struggle to get albino granite, then when you've got one, you grow it up, you breed it with the het, suddenly you've got numbers. Now you can start working on polygenic traits within that albino granite line, like I want to do with some of the caramel pepper stuff and the xanthic stuff and a few other things. So once you've actually got some visible animals that express different traits. Yeah.
It's just when you get, like an albino head granite and a granite head albino, your whole world changes. It's when the numbers come pumping in. I've never actually done albino granite to albino granite or albino granite to heads. Once you have those stepping stones, it's just so much easier, It's just time.
Yeah, that's it. And your projects move forward. So, I'll do a few things. I know. Yeah, I know I've got a few people that are after Blonde Max. I'll probably do those this year, do Platinums, Marbles, T+. So a few of that sort of stuff with the ants. A few Morelia, probably, the albino Darwins, I do them every year. They all tend to go, the pure albino Darwins. So the striped albinos, we'll get those going again.
Good to see some pure projects, yes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Katie says online live expo. It's not entirely a stupid idea. That maybe one day we've talked about doing a YouTube only show because Facebook's not very friendly for selling animals. So we'll do maybe a YouTube exclusive. You know, we thought about auctions, we thought about giveaways, we thought about available snake stuff where you can put it under a camera. You know, it can't be a funny photo. It's just here it is under the light. You know.
I mean, I wonder how many people see a photo of something, you know. I mean, you look at Reptile Classifieds with Andy down there, Fuzzy Fox, and you have a look at how many animals there are photographed, and you think, I wonder how many people have bought something, and they think, wow, look at that, and then they get it, and they go, is that the same snake?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know?
Absolutely.
Like I saw a photo today of someone with some carpets, and they're saying how they're a lighter coloration. And there's one on the photo in the newspaper, and the newspaper it's just had all the colour taken out of it. There's even stuff on the paper where it's coloured and it's almost grey as well. It's like, well,
the paper was modified.
Yeah, you know, when you look at that and you think, well, if I can tell that that's not, you know, what newspaper looks like, surely many others do.
Or sometimes with someone holding a snake with an orange hand. It's like, wow, they're an Oompa Loompa. What's going on there?
That's right. So, you know, I'd like to see people saying, show me the photo of the snake you thought you purchased and an actual photo of the animal you received.
And I am terrible at taking snake pics, and I quite often send people pictures that are absolutely second-rate shit. So quite often people get their snakes and are much happier when they receive them because they're actually better than the photo, which I'm okay with. You know, like I don't doctor photos. I take tub shots in not well-lit rooms, and if they love the snake, they'll absolutely love it when they get it. You know, putting them in light boxes and editing pics to sell snakes is definitely something I have not done and never will do.
Yeah, no, I don't mind trying to take decent photos and stuff, but I'm the same. I struggle. I normally just have a light and my phone.
Yeah.
And I go, click, does that look good? No, delete. Don't worry about it. Try it another day.
I take 10 and then go inside and sit on the lounge, you know, and delete. Oh, shit, there's none left. Go back to the shed.
That's all mine or terrible. But this is a good way of showing them, I think, like some of the stuff. But I think doing some sort of auction or something like that, you know, like on YouTube, but it's the same thing. Like, you know, if you've only got 5 people looking, there's not much point. But it's one of those things. I mean, every show we do a raffle. You know, we give away a snake. Come and buy a snake for every $100. You get a free raffle ticket, and you know we give away stuff. And we want to kind of grow on that as well. We've got a few more ideas, haven't we, going forward on that sort of thing.
Bigger and better stuff next year with giveaways and better snakes to give away.
Yeah, so. You know, it's all that, and then you know the potential of going to the shows other shows in the state next year would be good as well. Try to get out there a bit more. You know, we try and go and see our 4 fans that we have.
Yes, Benjamin Morris saying, "I know someone who can freight all the snakes sold too." What a great idea, Mister Tail Travel himself.
Yep.
Ben can certainly get them where they need to be. I just wish there was a bunch more selling, mate, and then have a bunch more to send. But I'm sure everyone's in the same boat. This year is going to be a little bit tougher year to be freighting quantities of anything.
Yep, it's definitely a bit slow, particularly with the high-end stuff. But, you know, I'm happy to sit. I always believe in the thing, you know, if it's, you know, if people are making stuff that cheap, then it's too good to be true. There's got to be something wrong. So, you know, I'm not going to drop prices of quality animals to some of the stupid prices we see being advertised. There's normally a reason for that, you know. So good quality costs money, I guess. So should bring Brian Barchek on live sometime. That'd be interesting. Yeah, I know Brian. So who knows? He's a very busy man, and as far as I'm aware, he's a very sick man as well. So
yeah, very sad.
Unfortunately, he's like, you know, I'm sure he's got his fair share of haters, but you know, I've spent time with Brian when I was over there in the States, and mate, he was an absolute champion of a bloke. Like, you know, just a dead set nice guy. So, you know, it's very, very sad what's happening with Brian at the moment. unfortunately. But, yeah, it would be great to get him on for a chit chat. The knowledge he has and the experience he's had is certainly huge. His knowledge on.
I'd love to talk to lots of people. We plan to talk to some breeders in Australia, that we know, friends of. But whether we've got enough pull to pull the big names like those, I don't know. But we will start small, talk to a couple of local Aussies, and then expand out from there.
Yeah, who knows? That's it. But anyway, I suppose if we keep talking, this is going to get longer and longer. So
we better wrap it up, mate. It was good to get back online. We left it way too long, so we'll won't leave it as long again and take some of these ideas. We've got an idea for a bit of a pepper special that we might roll out shortly and just show where some of the morphs are up to. We showed a couple tonight, but tell a bit more of the story and look at it in depth, a bit more animals, with some adults, and we can really see where the mutation's at.
Yeah, there's it's getting there, and a few more years once these things are up breeding, and we start to see, like where you are, supposedly the albino granites, Brent. You've got some numbers now. You can start to work on refining, the polygenic side of it. Within the animals, and it's the same with the peppers. I mean, they're still relatively new. I've probably bred and seen more than anybody else in the country at this point in time. And the variations are huge. Like some of the stuff and variations, like just in the old pepper jag, I could pull out a half a dozen of them, and they're completely different. So similar, but all different. So
color and pattern, there's a lot of directions to go in.
So, but that'll be another one. And obviously for me, I've actually finally got my website registered and stuff, so that's about all starting to come into play now. So that's going to be a lot of work. I've got to start getting some ideas for the website and the design and all that. So
the way of the world, the way of the future, though.
Finally got my finger out of my bum. And it just adds when you've got all that information on the website. When people ask a question, you say, "Here, go over, read," and they've got access to all that information and lines and histories and
It's a good plan. I hope it works for you.
Well, so theory has it.
Just do the work and see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see. But anyway, all right, mate. So if anyone that was watching the show wants to get in contact with you, Brent, where do they find you, mate?
KHP Reptiles on Facebook, Brent Smith on Messenger. Most people come through the page or get me on Messenger. It's my website's up. Probably needs an update from the many years it's been sitting there. I did update some pictures on it this year for the first time I've done anything on it for a long time. So Darren inspired me when he said he's going to build a website. I thought maybe I'll update mine. So it's www.khpreptiles.com.au. And if they want the big Daz man himself.
Darren Whitaker and Morelia by Design on Facebook and Instagram. Hit me up on Messenger if you ever want to ask a question. So make sure you like and follow us both along. We're always here to help. Guys, thanks heaps for dropping in. Hope you enjoyed what we had to share. And if ever you got questions, I know we kind of skipped a few tonight. We probably talk, but normally we try to answer everything that comes through and respond to everyone. But next time jump in, ask away, and we'll certainly try to help you out any way we can. So for me, good night. Thanks, guys, and we will catch you on the next one.
Thanks, guys.